What's up, guys? We're back in the car, trying to balance you on my steering wheel. Second time, because the first time I had background music playing and it completely overshadowed every single thing I said. So, a little frustrating. However, we continue. We redo. We get back to it. And I believe I started the first video off with showing this new tattoo I got. Unfortunately, when you get a new tattoo by an old one, it contrasts like the color because the skin hasn't set over it yet. But it's still dope. It's a North Star, right? And for me, that symbolizes direction and having trust and faith in direction rather than an end destination or a final result. You know, that is something that's, I'd say, you know, that's really carried me through a lot of things in my life recently. Past couple months, you could even argue past couple years. It's only something that I've been more consciously focused and aware of the past few months, I'd say, for sure, with grappling with more uncertainty as I'm approaching the end of my college experience of undergrad as an economics major and not knowing what I want to do with my life. Because, you know, that is not the easiest thing to deal with. You know, a lot of people know what they want to do, or they think they know what they want to do, or they pretend they know what they want to do, but I don't, and I'm not afraid to admit that, because that leaves my life pretty open for trying and testing out whatever I think is worth doing and experiencing in life, because that's what life's about, experiencing, no? I think so, but I digress. Yeah, so uncertainty, that's, you know, that's something that's it's a difficult thing. However, life is just full of it. There's nothing you can do about it. You just got to roll with it and trust and have faith that the work that you put in today, it's gonna pay off. And I want to talk about some of the work that I put in today and I put in recently. If you guys know, I just finished the first draft of my hybrid book journal, self-awareness, inner peace short story, right? And I did my first reread through and left comments throughout it all, addressing, you know, primarily the format. And yeah, the past week I haven't done too much work in that regard. After I finished all the comments, I went to New York for the first time. I was sick, been hanging out with friends. All right, I got 1 week left of summer. I go back to school on Tuesday and I start the next Monday with classes. So been enjoying my time with friends and haven't been doing too much. However, it's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, we talked about, you know, an idea that was first initially received to me by Rick Rubin in the Creative Act. I've talked about this numerous times regarding creative work and creative projects. You know, this could be storytelling and writing like I'm doing. This could be making music, making art, like literally whatever. And when you're a topic that was addressed quite frequently is when you're so close to a piece like this or something you've been working on, like I have for several days a week for months now, you're really closely involved with it, and that can skew the way you view it when it comes to revisions. And that's something that I've noticed throughout my comments as I was looking back on them. There are some that are more objectively looking at the piece as a whole from like a more holistic approach. And then there are some that are just like sporadic, random nitpicking, like me just having that inner critic, you know, like they say perfectionism is the voice of the oppressor. I believe that's it. You know, so trying to make a distinction between the two to come out with the best and most accurate depiction of what you are trying to put out is obviously the goal and the end goal. And I am 100% open and fine with this whole revision process taking a while. I'll let it take as long as it fucking needs. I want this hybrid book journal to be the most accurate depiction of what I believe I'm capable of putting out there. And I believe this is really of benefit to those who can relate and those who it may come across. Ideally, that's the goal, right? And that leads me to my next point, those who it comes across. Okay, like if that even grammatically makes sense. Who this, you know, who this book reaches to, like who buys it, you know what I'm saying? And figuring that out and getting someone interested in it, right? That's a whole nother thing. And that's something that I'm using to further my direction when it comes to economics major, business minor, hybrid spirituality, self-awareness, peace, improvement, love book. So I figured, let me not be spread so thin doing one thing and have them both be like this, right? Let's try to like mesh them together a little, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted some real substance to put on my resume, something that I could show future employers. I'm not necessarily writing off the stuff that I'm doing as maybe possibly future career or just side thing. I'm honestly, right now I'm cool with whatever. I like the flow of my life right now and things are going well. So I'm open to whatever. However, I do like the idea of creating something real and tangible to show to employers, which what I'm doing here would be more guided towards analyst type of positions, entry level out of college, out of my undergrad. And one of the ideas that, you know, I came up with was this consumer insights research project, okay? And I have a couple questions I've been filling out. I'll read you a couple of them and I'll show you how I'm integrating, you know, this book journal and what I'm studying into two, you know, and this is really good because now it's like, it's, you know, this would be of my benefit even if I wasn't doing school, but now I'm doing school and it's good and it goes on my resume, you know, but nonetheless, hopefully this will be able to be useful for book sales and, you know, just reaching an audience and actually making the best impact that I can with this book, because that's a goal. I want to, you know, impact the world positively through this, even if it's just a few people, honestly, even if it's just a few. So, you know, the research plan would consist of, the research study would consist of planning, my computer up here, planning, design, data collection, cleaning, preparation. I would run some quantitative analysis, you know, Excel probably. I don't think fucking R code would. Yeah, and then consumer segmentation, insights, recommendation, real world testing, results, and evaluation, which could then turn to professional packaging, which is even something that I could put out here and make a YouTube video and talking about it like properly. Maybe I'll wear like a little suit for it, you know what I'm saying? And this is something real and tangible I could put on my resume and, you know, good for like market analysts, business analysts, like gathering data, communicating it through, like, I would do surveys, I would do interviews, ideally both, you know, trying to limit biases. However, I would most likely conduct majority of these at my campus town. So we'll see. I started though with a couple of these questions and I'll just read them out for you guys. So what am I actually trying to understand? I'm trying to understand what makes an 18 to 25-year-old person interested in buying a book and or journal with the intent of improving their self-awareness and inner peace. Why does this matter? This matters because understanding the consumer's desires for themselves will help me know how to market and sell my product to those I believe could benefit from it most. And I currently don't know how would I market the product to a prospective customer to make them interested in purchasing, trusting, valuing, and committing to my hybrid book journal product, which obviously would vary the marketing between those who like read, journal, practice meditation, any sort of self-improvement, and those who don't, which is even more important of a sort of clientele to reach. Those are the people I believe could really use it the most, you know, and could relate to someone who, you know, didn't have something like that and then found something like that, because that's what the story's about and the benefits of it and how it's changed my perspective on life and changed my quality of life overall as a whole. Yeah, and you know, I won't get into it and read much more, and obviously that's just what I put on paper. Okay, that still needs revisions, touch-ups. You know, I haven't given this all too much thought because I literally just started this like yesterday. Okay, but you know, I need make sure I'm going about this right. This is something new to me, and I will definitely do my due diligence on making sure that, you know, I'm limiting biases and all, and making this the most, you know, how would I put it, awesome research study. Like, it can fucking go on my resume tattoo. Yeah, and yeah, this is sweet because, you know, I'm passionate about this. This relates to my book. It benefits me either way, and you know, I don't know where the final destination of all this stuff that I've been doing is going, but you know what I do know is that I'm on the right direction right now, on the right path. So that's it for today, guys. Stuttered little video for you guys, 10 minutes and 42, 3, 4, 5. See you guys.